In LabVIEW 2013, there are some eventful updates to the event structure. One big thing that's been added, and simple to look at, is the new mouse wheel event. So for instance, in this numeric control, if I were to click inside and then move my mouse wheel, I can increment it, or decrement, as the case may be. Now in LabVIEW 2013, I can generate an event off of that. So as you see over here, there's a mouse wheel event off a numeric control under the mouse section. What's happening? So each time I go and change the value of that numeric control with the mouse wheel, I'll change this LED, wheeling. It'll be on and off, basically looking at whatever the previous value was. What else is new in events? Well, a big thing is the event inspector window. If I right click on the border, event inspector window, I pull up this window where first I can see unhandled events in the event queue and then all events that have already been executed. So let's go and run this. But first, let's take a look at the events that we will generate. There's that mouse wheel event. Also a mouse enter on the milliseconds to wait control right here. So anytime I pass my mouse over this, that will generate an event. Changing the value of the stop button. And then also there's a user event. Now the user event, as you can see, has been configured. It's been created here and then registered to this event structure. And that's going to this other loop, which is just going to be running continuously once a second. And once a second, it will be generating this user event. This input, the priority, we'll talk about a little later. Now, of course, there are more robust architectures than this, but this is more illustrative or illustrative. Either one is true. So let's pop open our event inspector window and run this. So I run it, and nothing's happening right now because the user event isn't actually being triggered until I click on the check threshold boolean. So it's not running yet. But let's generate some other events. Again, passing my mouse over this will generate an event. And as you can see, that's showing up down in the event log. Clicking inside my numeric control and then moving my mouse wheel will of course generate events, and I can see that wheeling LED turning on and off. You notice that we have a wait, which is not typical with an event structure, but we put it in there in order to slow down the loop so we can see unhandled events. So let's do that. I will increase the milliseconds to wait to 1,000. And now, as I'm generating events, you can see that some of them show up here in the unhandled events because the loop is going kind of slowly and not catching up. And it works its way through the backlog, if there is one. Now I'll stop it for a second, and to better view the results of this demo, I'm going to turn off front panel locking. And you can see a checkbox just below that, which says limit maximum instances of this event in the event queue. And I can limit that to 1 instance. Well, that can be very handy, because if we flip back now to our event inspector window, and then run this, and queue up a bunch of events, you see that each time that loop iterates, it gets rid of all the extra ones. Now I pushed the stop button in the meantime, but I restarted it. And flushing the event queue can be very handy, especially for tracking events which happen continuously, like mouses moving around. Maybe we're drawing something, and we don't really care what the mouse has done. We care what the last value is, so we can go and take that and do some calculations on it. And there's actually a new LabVIEW primitive, or function, that will go and do that for us. Right here, flush event queue. And we can do that on command when we want. So what else is new? Well, there's now a way to set event priority when we use user events. So it's right here, and you can see that right now it's normal priority. So I'll go and turn this loop on by clicking on the check threshold button and run it. And I'm going to clear all the previous stuff and let it run for a second. And you can see that the user events are firing up here as handled events. Of course, if I generate other events, they'll show up as well. So what's happening in this loop, the lower loop, is that once a second, we look at the value in this front panel numeric, and we see if it's above 100. If it is, we generate a user event which will turn on this LED down here, over limit. Now, you can imagine that in a real-world situation, going over a threshold could be a bad thing, or at least something we want to notify our user of. The problem is, if we have a bunch of other events up here unhandled, then that over threshold event would have to wait until the end of the line to be handled, until now. As you can see, there's a priority input, so I'll stop the VI and go change this from normal priority to high priority. Bring back the event inspector window, run it, and generate a bunch of events, and we can see that whenever that user event fires, it jumps to the top of the queue. And of course, if I do go over 100, the next time it's handled, we get the over limit warning. That's pretty handy stuff and very valuable for debugging and developing larger event-based applications in LabVIEW.